everybody. Welcome to this morning's East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. I'll be your net controller for the first half, and then we'll get Bill in here, KF0MHN, to do the second half. And we got the text check-ins, quite a list there. We'll go through those, and then I'll call for mobiles, and we'll do the mobiles, and then do the text check-ins and blend in some general check-ins. Today's question is last week was, have you ever took a taxi drone? This week, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? I bring that up. They have those ones that go around New York where you can ride in a horse and buggy, and my dad took us to old Tucson, Arizona back in the 70s, and we got to take a stagecoach ride for like around a mile ride, and we did a couple of those, so something like that. Let me get down here to the bottom of the text check-ins, let everybody know who's there, and this is August 20th, 2026. This is net number 1284 for those who care about that. Stand by. We got my buddy Dave, WB8ODF, KE2EDS Mark, KC3UK Herbert, KB2UDB Mike, KR4AEG Charles, KK7DY Clark, KQ4EFY Tim, WD8KOB Rod, KD2YUY Charles, KI4EG Q Bill, W3CVE Chuck, K4DUK Duck, KF8GTW David, KJ5MEL Jose, KB3EYR Greg. Stand by. And KI6KQO Zach, KM4WZD Joe, N0CKV Mark, K8BYU Roy, K8UFM Randall, K4MMX Craig, K4GET Ronald, KA4EPS Lou, N3SQR Joe, K4POI Ed, and top of the text list there is KG4GOQ, Paul, Lake Worth, Florida. All right, let's take some mobile check-ins now. Try to come in twice and slowly.
N2PLK, N2PLK, mobile.
Whiskey 5 Papa Lima, mobile. Whiskey 5 Papa Lima, mobile.
K4HBT, KOM, Kilo Delta 2, Tango Oscar Mike. Victor Alpha 3, India, Mike Whiskey, VA3, IMW, mobile.
ZX mobile.
Tango 1, Quebec 4, Tango 1, Victor, Mike, Echo, X-Ray, Quebec 4, Yankee, Victor, Mike, KQ4YVM, mobile, in and out.
K4HBT, Kilo 4 Hotel Bravo Tango.
W8NJT, Whiskey 8, November Juliet Tango.
VA3, IMW, mobile. Victor Alpha 3, India, Mike Whiskey.
I got a nice list there. See if we missed anybody. W8NJT Nick, KQ4YVM Brandon, KC5CZX Daryl, VA3 IMW Mac, KD2TOM Tom, K4HBT Gary, W5PL James, K4GDS Gil, N2VLK Jeff. There was another one down here, KE2IPJ Dean. Was there anybody we missed? Mobiles only.
KO4EAS, O4EAS.
Kilo Juliet 5, Hotel Delta Romeo, mobile in and out. Kilo Juliet 5, Hotel Delta Romeo, mobile in and out.
Kilo Tango 1, Lima Echo X-ray. Kilo Tango 1, Lima Echo X-ray, in and out.
About filled my logbook there. Perfect. KT1LEX. Last there. Have a great day. Thanks for checking in. KJ5HDR Steven. Thanks for checking in. Have a good day. And then we got you, Leonard KO4EAS. All right. Let me go to the top of the list here. Jeff, Lancaster, New York. Oh, this is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida, your net controller. Jeff, Lancaster, New York, N2VLK. Good morning, Jeff. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody has a nice day. I'm actually not in Lancaster. I'm in southern New York State, Chautauqua County. And to answer your question, yes, I have ridden on a horse and buggy, I guess you call it. And with that, I'll turn it back to you. Say 73 and 2VLK mobile. I'll be listening.
Thanks for joining us. A yes on the first one. I love it. Yeah, me and a friend also, back in the 70s when I lived in Pennsylvania, we hitchhiked a ride on a Dutch buggy to go to the swimming hole. So there was another one. Gil, Orlando, Florida, K4GDS. Good morning, Gil.
Good morning. Good morning, Roger and Vicky, everyone else on the Brew. Yes, I have. Last time I remember was probably in the 90s in Philadelphia. Been quite a while, but definitely have. K4GDS, back to net.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Gil, and thanks for what you do for the ECR. James, Spring, Texas, W5PL. Good morning, James.
Well, good morning, Roger and Vicky. Thank y'all for running it this morning. And good morning, Brew Crew. This is Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile. James in Spring, mobile into Houston for work today. Got a hot day on tap today. Maybe we'll hit over 100 degrees. Only time will tell. To the question at hand, yes, I have taken a horse and buggy ride. They've got them running around in Houston, downtown, all the time. So if you go on a date down there, it's real easy to get roped into one of them. And, you know, they're nice. It's a pleasant ride, but I recommend doing it in the evening when it's nice and cool. With that, I'll say 7-3 and hand it back to Ned. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile. William Honor.
Awesome, James. Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be so many yeses right off the bat. Only 100 years ago, this was popular. Thanks, James. Have a good one. Gary, Florida, K4HBT. Good morning, Gary. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger and the Brew Crew. Yes, for a lot of years. A long time ago, I lived up in Michigan, and on Mackinac Island, there's no vehicles allowed. So and of course, I had a horse and buggy ride when I was there. K4HBT, back to net control.
Yeah, good thing I was a kid when he did it. I don't know if I'd want to do it at an older age. You never saw them cowboys too old riding on them things. Thanks for joining us. Tom, Rocky Point, New York, KD2TOM. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, everybody. I've never done a horse and buggy in a city, but I guess if you want to call it a technical yes, we'll go with me and the wife do the haunted hayride kind of thing every Halloween time, and it is pulled by a horse, so I guess technically I'll be a yes. Everybody have a good one. KD2TOM, be clear.
Vicky wasn't too sure. She was back and forth there, but it looks like yes. Hay wagon wins, as long as you're pulled by a horse. Thanks for joining us. Mac, VA3IMW. Good morning, Mac. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning to the Brew crew and everybody listening. Victor Alpha 3 Indy Mike Whiskey with you. As a matter of fact, I have fond memories, probably my first opportunity to take a horse and buggy ride in one of the old heritage villages. Anybody who's traveled through the New England states will recall a place called Six Gun City. Since then, there's been a number of other opportunities in other heritage villages, and most lately the horse and buggies that take you through the picture town of Niagara on the Lake. Thanks for doing it. Certainly appreciate it. All the best to everyone. 73 from Ontario.
Well, thanks for joining us, Mac, and it says you're new there, so check us out, eastcoastreflector.com. eastcoastreflector.com if you haven't already. Magazine, a lot of different nets, a Zoom room, and a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. Daryl, Lubbock, Texas, KC5CZX. Good morning, Daryl. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Well, good morning to everybody on the Brew, and most assuredly, yes, back in Kenya, South Africa, when I was in the military, we got driven around by our host in a horse and buggy, me and another friend. That's how we did all of our shopping. It was quite fun to get the tour that way. Back to net, KC5CZX.
Yeah, it's something you don't forget. Have a good day there, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. This is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida. KQ4YVM, Brandon, Davie, Florida. Good morning, Brandon. Did we lose you mobiling along there, Brandon? KQ4YVM. Sound like somebody was trying there. Just couldn't quite make it. And I didn't mention that Vicky is doing a wonderful job of logging, as she always does. KQY. Let's move on to Nick. Was Brandon there? KQ4YVM. You there? Yeah, he was cutting in and out. Let's move on to Nick, Toledo, Ohio, W8NJT. Good morning, Nick. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to keep the yes column rolling. Living in Northwest Ohio, we got plenty of Amish areas around here within an hour or two. And, been there, done that. W8NJT, back in the control.
All right, another yes on the list. Thanks for joining us. Dean, Comrade, New York, KE2IPJ. Good morning, Dean.
Good morning. Looks like I'm going to be the first no. I have not been on a horse and buggy, although I'd like to. I have not had the opportunity. Have a great day, everybody. Back to net, KE2IPJ.
Hope you get to check it out sometime, Dean. Thanks for joining us. Leonard, Margate, Florida, KO4EAS. Good morning, Leo.
Morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky. Yeah, I've been on one of those big wagons for the tourist attractions that are pulled by horses. So if that counts, count me in. Have a great day, everyone. This is KO4EAS. Back to net.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us this morning. And that's the end of the mobile list. Now we'll move on to the text check-ins. Top of the list here, Paul, Lake Worth, Florida, KG4GOQ. Good morning, Paul. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger and Vicky and the Brew Crew. Yes, I have had a couple horse and buggy rides. Even one over in Poland when we were over there. A lot of fun. Back to the net. This is KG4GOQ in Palm Springs, Florida.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day. Ed, Lakahatchee, Florida, K4POI. Good morning, Ed.
Vicky and the Brew. No, I never had a horse and buggy ride. Need to put that on my bucket list. Back to you, Roger, K4POI.
Thanks for getting in there, my friend. You have a good day. Joe, Deerfield Beach, Florida, N3SQR.
Well, good morning, Roger, and the rest of the Brew Crew. Yeah, I'm originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Just north of and also Pennsylvania Dutch country. We had plenty of opportunities to ride in horse and buggy, and we have throughout the years. And one other thing that we've done is when it was snowing out one time, my friend hitched up a one-horse open sleigh. So we went for a sleigh ride as well. So, yeah, a lot of fun. N3SQR, back to neutral.
Oh, you get bonus points for the sleigh ride, Joe. That sounds really cool. Thanks for joining us. Lou, Lake Worth, Florida, KA4EPS. Good morning, Lou.
Hey, good morning, Roger and everyone else in the group. We're having problems with the Florida hub this morning, so sorry for the breakups. Answer is no. I never had the opportunity, but I'd like to try sometime. Thanks for doing that, Roger. KA4EPS.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You have a good day there. Yeah, what's really wild is that stagecoach ride when you got about 6 horses in front of you. Man, you feel the power, that's for sure. Lou, Lake Worth, Florida, KA4EPS. Or did I just say that? Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'll check in again.
All right, thanks. I get confused here. A lot of coffee and a lot of logins. Ronald, Jasper, Florida, K4GET. Good morning, Ronald. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Thank you, Roger, for joining that. And Vicky, thank you. Yes, the last time was the historical district in Charleston, South Carolina. When I was a teenager, I worked for a horse ranch down on Long Island, and we used to have a monthly hay ride, so quite a few times. Thank you. K4GET. Have a good night.
You got it. Thanks for joining us. Craig, Oakland Park, Florida, K4MMX. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everybody. The answer is no. K4MMX, back to net.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day there. Randall, Brownstown Township, Michigan, K8UFM. Good morning, Randall.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky, and good morning to the rest of the Brew Crew. I've been trying to remember if I did or didn't. I don't think I have taken a horse and buggy. With that said, this is K8UFM, back to net control. Everyone have an outstanding Thursday.
You do the same. happy if we get some rain here today. KABYU, Roy, Blaisdell, New York. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, everybody on the Brew. KA8BYU. No, never rode a horse and buggy, but did a lot of horseback riding in that. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll have to try the other one. We'll see what happens. KA8BYU, back to you.
All right, Roy, you better work on that. We got you down for a no. Have a good day. Mark, Plymouth, Minnesota, N0CKV. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, Bill, the rest of the Brew crew, everybody else on the net. No, I don't think I've ever been on a horse and buggy ride. Everybody have a great Thursday and great rest of the week. N0CKV, back to net.
Have a good day. Thanks for joining us this morning, Mark. And this is the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. Check out eastcoastreflector.com. You'll see what we're all about. And I am KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida, your net controller for the first hour. Then we'll get Bill in here, KF0MHN, to do the second half. Let's move on to Joe, Claremont, Florida, KM4WZD. Good morning, Joe. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Hey, Roger. Good morning. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning to the crew. I'm like Roy. A lot of times on a horse, but the buggy was never involved. So I guess you got to put me in the no column. Everybody have a great Thursday. Take care in 7-3s. It's KM4WZD. Back to net.
No, it is, my friend. You have a good day there. Zach, St. Cloud, Florida, KI6KQO. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and everyone on the Brew crew. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful morning. One time I got to ride a stagecoach. It was quite interesting. And everyone have a great day. Back to you, Roger, KI6KQO.
Let's move on to Greg, Coreyville, PA, KB3EYR. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Roger, Bill, Vicky, everybody on the Brew crew this morning. This is KB3EYR. And yes, being a lifelong resident of Lancaster County here, among all the Amish, that is a thing that has happened. With that, back to net control. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day, Greg. Yeah, when me and my friend hitchhiked a ride with the Amish Dutch, we were like 14 years old, and we had a portable radio, so they got to listen to that while they gave us a ride. So worked out good for all. Jose, Austin, Texas, KJ5MEL. Good morning, Jose.
Roger, Vicky, Bill, thank you for running the net. That's a negative for me. Never have been on a buggy ride. I've ridden horses quite a bit in my youth, but no buggy rides. Thank you for running the net. Back to you, Roger.
And here I told Vicky that you probably did, because I kind of remember your story of riding a horse through the river. So I was kind of like he had to ride on a wagon. So thanks for joining us, Jose. Have a great day. David, Toledo, Ohio, KF8GTW. Good morning, David.
Good morning, everybody on the Brew crew. Yes, I have. I've had a buggy ride and a hay ride. So, yeah, the answer is yes. 73 to everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. And this is KF8 GTW. Back to net.
Have a great day there in Ohio. Thanks for joining us. Doug, Lake City, Florida, K4DUK. Boy, you shortened that old call sign right up there, Doug. Good morning.
Good morning. This is K4DUK. Duck out of Lake City, Florida. I have been on a buggy before that was stationary, antique, and I've been on a horse one time, no saddle, no anything. But I have not been on both together. Wow, that's crazy. So my answer is no. Having said that, 73 to everyone, excellent question. This is K4DUK and quack quack.
Right, I've been looking into those vanity call signs. Man, you were lucky to get that. They're not the easiest to get. Thanks for joining us, Duck. Have a great day. Chuck, Newcastle, PA, W3CV. I bet you have Chuck being around all them Amish up there.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and everybody on the Brew there. Oh, that's a definite yes, yeah, numerous times. And with that, Roger, I'm going to Coney Island, so I'll have a couple of yappers there for you. And with that, have a great day. W3CVE.
Oh, man, you had to throw that in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to order some of that. They send it to me frozen. Cost a little bit, but, man, it sure is nice to have a hometown hot dog once in a while. And you know where we went, me and my friend, to Nassau Quarry. Nassau Quarry, that's where the Amish gave us a ride to. So I'm sure you know that too, Chuck. Have a good day. Bill, Woodstock, Georgia, KI4EGQ. Good morning, Bill. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Yeah, good morning to all the Brew crew. Hope everyone's coffee's working this morning. And yeah, we've had a horse and buggy ride most recently, like other fellows said, up on Mackinac Island. It was a great experience, and they have a wonderful carriage museum with some of the antique carriages that they still use, from back in the day, before they had automobiles. So neat place. And we were at a dude ranch, was that in Montana somewhere, and they had a wagon that they taught us how to hitch up and let us drive it a little bit under supervision. So got our dual time under instruction for wagon driving. That was something there. Good food, by the way. Everybody have a great day. KI4EGQ.
You have a good day, too. Yeah, some of them carriage builders went right into the cars, I think. I forget who was it, Studebaker or something like that. Thanks, Bill. KD2YUY. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, everybody else listening in on the Brew. Ridden horses? Ridden in a buggy, but not the horse and buggy. The buggy I rode in was drawn by donkeys. My uncle used to have donkeys. 73 all back to net control, KD2 YUY.
You got it. Have a good day, Charles. We're just about the end of the text list here, and then I'll take some general check-ins, and we can focus on those. This is KO4QMM. Rod, Madison, West Virginia, WD8KOB. Good morning, Rod.
Well, good morning, Ned. That's WD8KOB. Well, you kind of squeezed me in on the bottom there. Okay. Hey, anyway, my answer to the question is, oh, yes, I've a couple of times I've ridden a buggy. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Hey, before you know it, we'll be in the weekend. Back to that, WD8KOB.
Right, we're already through mid-August. Holy cow! Thanks for joining us. Good morning, Tim. Columbia, South Carolina, KQ4EFY.
Thank you, Roger. This is KQ4EFY, Tim, in Columbia, South Carolina. And yes, I've ridden in a horse and buggy. Back to net control.
Thanks for joining us, my friend. Have a good day. Clark, Phoenix, Arizona, KK7DY.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and the rest of the Brew Crew. No, I've never ridden in a horse and buggy. Back to net control, KK7DY.
Got you down for a no. Have a great day there, Clark. Charles, Belmont, North Carolina, KR4AEG. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, everybody on the crew. No, I've never ridden in a horse and buggy. Never had an opportunity. AEG, back to net control.
All right, Charles, you have a good day. Thanks for joining us. My buddy Mike, Sebring, Florida, KB2UDB. How about it, Mike? You ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger, Miss Vicky, and everyone else on the Brew. To answer the question, yes. Not only have I had a horse and buggy ride, but I also had a hay ride through a Halloween display, and I also had a sleigh ride through Christmas lights. And believe it or not, I had 3 horses of my own, but never had it hooked up to a sleigh. The answer is yes. Thanks for picking me up this morning. KB2 UDB in upstate New York, back to net control. Have a good day. God bless. 7-3.
Thank you, Mike, and you have a good day, Mike. Herbert, West Milford, PA, KC3UUK. Good morning, Herbert.
This is KC3UUK, Herbert from West Mifflin. The answer to the question would be no. I have never taken a buggy ride. I have horseback ridden, but I've never been on a buggy. With that being said, everybody have a blessed day. Stay dry. KC3UUK, back to the net.
Thanks, Herbert. You have a good day, too. Now, my buddy Mark here from Elma, New York, one of our team members, and he's in the Zoom room now, kind of keeps everything back up for us, and it's always good to have you there, Mark. KE2EDS.
Well, good morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Brew Crew. I am in the minority. I am a no. Done the hayride thing, but never a horse and buggy. Have a great day. KE2EDS.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks for all you do for the ECR. Bottom of the text list, my buddy Dave from Ypsilanti, Michigan, WB8ODF. I don't know, Dave. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Well, good morning, Roger, Bill, and Vicky, and everybody else on the Morning Brew. This is Dave. I'm in Ypsilanti, southeastern Michigan, about 30 miles due west of Detroit, and put me down for a yes. I had a Surrey ride in Greenfield Village, a theme park here in Dearborn, Michigan, and a number of hay rides pulled by 1 and 2 horses. This is Dave, WB8ODF. Thanks again, Roger.
Thanks for joining us, as you usually do, Dave, and have a good day there. All right, we're ready to take some general check-ins. There's a few texts. I'll just mention them, and then we'll jump on the generals. N4RSM Richard, K8SMN Jeff, KC2GRN Joel, VA3YBS Bill, KQ8U Bob, N8ZFH Gary, W2SAL Sal, KABAC Al, and we'll be right back to you guys. Now it's time to take some general check-ins. Please try to come in twice and slow.
Kilo Golf 5 Juliet Romeo Alpha. Kilo Golf 5 Juliet Romeo Alpha.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Victor Mike Charlie. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Victor Mike Charlie.
KF4 ONH Kilo Foxtrot 4 Oscar November Hotel Mobile.
Kilo Juliet 5 Bravo Uniform Echo. Kilo Juliet 5 Bravo Uniform Echo.
Kilo 4 Delta India Yankee. Kilo 4 Delta India.
W8 WHK W8 WHK.
Kilo Charlie 2 November Juliet Victor. Kilo Charlie 2 November Juliet Victor in and out.
Kilo Juliet 5 Romeo Foxtrot Romeo. Kilo Juliet 5 Romeo Foxtrot Romeo in and out.
Kilo Charlie 3 Lima Alpha Victor. KC3 LAV.
Bravo.
Kilo Bravo 1 Kilo Papa Mike KB1 KPM in and out.
November India. Kilo November 4 Whiskey November India. India now in and out.
Kilo Mike 4 Victor Tango Oscar. Kilo Mike 4 Victor Tango Oscar in and out.
November 1 Whiskey Echo Bravo N1 WEB.
Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta.
All right, I better grab a hold of it. We got you, Ray. We got you the first time there. And let me go from the bottom up here. N1WEB Web, KM4VTO Dennis. Thanks for being in and out there, Dennis. Have a good day. KN4WNI Stewart, KC3FGD Ray, KB1KPM Art, KJ5DXB Frank, KC3LAV Mike, VA3CRF Vern, KJ5RFR Stephen in and out. Have a good day, Stephen. W2RBC Randy, KC2NJV in and out Wayne. Have a good day, Wayne. W8WHK Bill, N4RHE Roger, KK4DIY Gene, VA3KTJ Jinsuk. Stand by. And I left off at Jinsuk, and we got KJ5BUE Josh, KF4ONH, I think, something like that. Was there somebody there with that KF4ONH, something like that?
Roger. Kilo Foxtrot 4 Oscar November Hotel Paul, Gainesville, Florida.
We got you, Paul. Thanks for getting in there. KF0VMC Tim, KGFJRA Dominic, and top of the list here, KQ4YYN Joe, Franklin, Georgia. Good morning, Joe, KQ4YYN. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Yes, sir, I have. Back in May of 1993, at the end of May, we went up into British Columbia, went over to Vancouver, Victoria Island, and that evening it was dark, and we rode in a horse and buggy And the lady driver, young lady driver, looked just like Nicole Kidman driving the buggy. So that's it. And that was when they have the regatta at the end of May every year in the Victoria Island. Beautiful island, beautiful area, and great fresh salmon for supper. Hey, back to you there, Mr. Roger, KQ4YYN.
Good job remembering the details there. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us. This is KO4QMM. You're listening to the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. Let's go to Al, KABAC. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, Roger. Everybody on the Brew crew. Happy Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Out of all the times I've grown up riding horses, I have never been in a horse and buggy. That said, I almost got run over by the Budweiser wagon one time, but that's a story for another day. Back to you, Roger. KBAC.
Ooh, nothing like getting a Clydesdale footprint on your chest. That would hurt. Have a good day, Al. Thanks for joining us. Dominic, Texas, KG5JRA. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning. Yes, I rode on a horse and buggy before. It was fun. It was a stagecoach at our local park they have here, and they do this like once a month, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I have. So, all right, you have a great day, and 73 KG5JRA.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day there. And let's move on to my buddy Sal here in the Zoom room, always pestering me. Oh, my goodness, Sal. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Miss Vicky, Mr. Roger, and Mr. Mark. Yes, I've been on a horse, I've been in a buggy, I've been on a hayride. The last time I was in a buggy, I was about 2 years old. And can you tell me what it is that you got going on here? Somewhere around 10 o'clock today, it says a 20M net on 14317 at 10 a.m. with KO4, QQM, and W2 RBC. Can you fill me in on that?
Oh, of course, Sal. You know me and announcements, man. I'm all over the announcements. Yeah, W2SAL. Thanks for joining us, Sal. And the East Coast Reflector 20-meter net is at 10 o'clock, 14.317, give or take. And we'll see you there along with my buddy Randy, W2RBC. Thanks for joining us, Sal. Thanks for the plug there. Let's go to Tim, Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, KF0VMC. Good morning, Tim. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Well, good morning to you, too. Hope you are having a good morning. Sounds like you're having fun. Anyway, no, plenty of horse rides, but never a horse and buggy. And you all have a very good day, and God bless all of you. Well, this is KF0VMC. Back to the net.
Thanks for joining us, Tim. You have a wonderful day. Gary, Woodhaven, Michigan, N8ZFH. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and the Brew crew. And like other Michiganders, ridden a buggy on Mackinac Island and Greenfield Village. Our youngest daughter lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so when we visit, we see plenty of buggies. Please check me in and out. I'll continue to listen. N8ZFH, back to net.
Awesome, Gary. Sounds fun. Thanks for joining us. Let's go down to Josh, Martindale, Texas, KJ5BUE. Good morning, Josh.
Well, good morning, everybody out on the Brew Crew. This is Josh, KJ5 BUE out of Martindale, Texas, passing the coolest part of the day, and we're up to a scorcher here. I think it's going to be another hot one. Have I ever ridden a horse and buggy? No, I never have. About the closest I think I've ever come is when I was little, Dad used to hook the radio flyer to the back of the lawnmower and ride us around the yard. That's probably about as close as I've ever come to a horse and buggy. All right, I'll send it back to net control. This is KJ5 BUE.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day. Let's move on to, I think I got Gary. N8ZFH. Did I get you, Gary?
Yep, Roger, you sure did. I've ridden them. N8ZFH, back to net.
That's all right. It's just Vicky messing with me. She likes to keep me on top of things here. And this is KO4QMM. Let's move on to Bob, Ecorse, Michigan, KQ8U. Good morning, Bob. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Morning, Roger, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. Yes, I have, but it's been many decades. I do want to say, I believe it was at Greenfield Village. A shout out to Zenith K. Gary. Come by our car show someday on Friday. Everybody have a great day. KQ8U, bad than that.
Thanks, Bob. You have a good day, too. Bill, Dunnville, Ontario, Canada, VA3YBS. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Roger. Yeah, I've driven horses on a cart many times, but I think a two-wheel cart doesn't count as a buggy. So there's been a couple times when we've been on vacation. Once we were in the Bahamas, and we got a horse and buggy ride around the town. So there's been a couple of other times as well. Anyway, thanks for the question, and you have a great day. This is VA3YBS.
All right, thanks for joining us. You have a good day. Let's move on to Joel, East Efang, New York, KC2GRN. Good morning, Joel. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger, and Mickey, and everybody on the Morning Brew, KC2GRN. Answer the question is, I've been on a couple of carriage rides in my time, but not specifically a horse and buggy. Just as a plug, there is a carriage museum here on Long Island, New York, in Stony Brook. It's called the Stony Brook Carriage Museum, and that is a wonderful place to see some old-time carriages. They have a wonderful display there. Anyway, everybody have a great day and a great weekend coming up soon enough. KC2GRN, back to net.
If there was a horse pulling that carriage, that's a yes. So that's the way I think about it. Jeff, Rochester Hills, Michigan, KASMN. Good morning, Jeff. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? KE8SMN. You there, Jeff? No show. Let's go to Jinsook, LaSalle, Ontario, Canada, VA3KTJ. Good morning, Jinsook. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and everyone on the net. My answer is no. I have never had a horse and buggy ride. Everybody have a great day. Back to net control. This is VA3KTJ.
Thanks for joining us, Jinsook. Have a good day yourself. Richard, Sumter, South Carolina, N4RSM. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to everyone on the Brew Crew. Yes, I have been on a horse and buggy ride. Back to you.
another yes for the column. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us. Gene, Homosassa, Florida, KK4DIY. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning to the Brew Crew and everyone out there. KK4DIY, Gene and Homosassa. And the answer is yes, I have. And being from Michigan, of course, it was on Mackinac Island. So thank you very much, KK473.
Awesome, Gene. Thanks for joining us. My buddy Rogelio from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, N4RAG. Well, Roger, have you ever felt the power of all the team of horses pulling you around?
For QMM. Good morning, Rogelio and clever cousin Vicky. Good ears. November 4, Rumiteleco. Yes. From a fancy surrey with the fringe on top to a donkey cart to an old-fashioned pumpkin Halloween hayride. I can still remember the smells of the hayride, which was much more fun. A good memory, Roger. November 4, Roger. I'm enthusiast. Return to net.
Thanks for joining us, my Florida friend. You have a good day yourself. Bill, North Fort Myers, Florida, W8WHK. Good morning, Bill.
Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, beautiful morning, 76 degrees. The answer is no. Closest I ever got was a hayride where they're pulling the wagon around with a farm tractor. And we lived in Amish country for a while, and you see a lot of the buggies going down the street, and they'd stop selling pies and stuff. And boy, those were great pies. Okay, back to you. This is W8WHK, back to net control 73, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. You have a good day, my friend. And here's Randy, West Seneca, New York, one of our team members, and hopefully ready for the old 20-meter net coming up at 10 o'clock. I got my long wires up. I had to take the hex beam down so I could do some burning and mowing and such. Randy, good morning.
Vicky and everyone on the morning brew. No, I never had the opportunity to be on a horse and buggy ride. Roger, I'll catch you at 10 o'clock this morning on the 20-meter net. Looking forward to it. Propagation doesn't seem too bad this morning. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2, RBC.
Thanks, Randy, and thanks all you do for the ECR, W2 ECR here. Have a good day. And what do we got next? We got Vern, Waterdown, Ontario, Canada, VA3CRF. Good morning, Vern. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Roger and Vicky and everybody on the net. Out for a walk in Waterdown. It's a very cool 56 degrees, a little cooler than I thought it was going to be. A little overcast. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. In answer to the question, never a horse and buggy ride, many times horse and wagon ride. They actually do one here in the Christmas season. You can take a little ride around the town in Waterdown, which is a lot of fun. I have definitely had some vehicles that have been buggy, but no horse and buggy for me. Hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for doing it, and thanks for picking me up, BA3CRS.
Close, but no cigar, Vern. We got you down. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day. Mike, KC3LAV. Good morning, Mike.
Yes, sir, and a fine good morning it is. This is KC3LAV, Mike in Warwick County, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. A little cloudy this morning, but it's still a beautiful day. Bright green lawns, and yes, we've been in buggies, always in open buggy, horse and carriage, and buggies and hay rides, and I even got to ride in a sulky at Liberty Bell Racetrack. That was a different kind of buggy there. Thanks again for being here this morning, and great to hear all the people on the net this morning. Casey, clear.
Yeah, I don't know about sitting on those sulky behind. I've seen those trotter horses before. They move along pretty quick, man. That'd be a wild ride. Thanks for joining us. You have a good day. Frank, Sugar Land, Texas, KJ5DXB. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning to you, Roger, to Miss Vicky, everybody in the Brew Crew. I'm a negative on the horse and buggy ride. Only done the horse, haven't done the buggy part yet. Thanks for the check-in. Everybody have a great day. KJ5DXB. Back to you, Roger.
Thanks for joining us, Frank. Have a good day. Art, West Haven, Connecticut, KB1KPM. Good morning, Art.
Morning, Roger, Vicky, and the Brew Crew. That's a negative for me. I've never been on the buggy ride, but maybe one of these days. KB1KPM, back to net control.
One of these days. Well, I hope it happens. You probably enjoy it. Ray, Elizabethtown, PA. My buddy from the garden, KC3FGD. Man, where you're at, Ray, I can almost guarantee you've been on a buggy ride. Over.
Yeah, good morning, Roger, Vicky, everyone on the Brew. Greetings from Lancaster County, home of the Amish, and of course that wonderful Scrapple. Believe it or not, no, I did not take a buggy ride around here. In fact, the real Amish do not give you buggy rides. Those are actors that look like Amish. So, yeah. Hey, I got to go way back in time with this one. Way back in the mid-'60s, my wife and I had a buggy ride in Lakewood, New Jersey, back in the park. And, hey, I'm doing a lot of harvesting of those wonderful Hungarian wax chili peppers, 5,000 to 15,000 Scoville units. Hey, everyone, have a wonderful day. Back to Roger at Net Control.
Thank you, Mr. Ray, and that is surprising. It's a good thing I'm not a gambling man. I always lose. Have a good day. Stuart, Hope Mills, North Carolina, KN4WNI. Good morning, Stuart. If that's you, Stuart, it sounded like somebody turned the microwave on. You want to give it another shot? KN4WNI. I guess that wasn't you, Stuart. That was in Ohio, and Vicky took care of that. One more time, Stuart, KN4WNI. Plenty of chances. All right, I better get down here and get this mobile. KY4NB, Scott, Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, Scott. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Well, hi there, Roger, and everybody on the Brew Crew out walking the dog this morning. Thanks for the check-in. Thanks to Miss Vicky. 80 degrees, hot and muggy, but overcast slightly, which does help. Been on a horse, but not with the buggy in the front. KY4NB, back to net.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. You have a good day there, my friend. And that's it for me. It's time to hand it over to my buddy Bill, KF0MHN. And thank everybody for joining in with me. This is KO4QMM. Over to you, Mr. Bill.
All right, Roger. Great job this morning, and thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the second hour of the morning brew. This is Bill KF0MHN. The question of the day is, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? Let's get back to the list, and let's start with N1WEB Webb in Collierville, Tennessee. Good morning, Webb.
Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Vicki and Roger. Roger, I can't make the 20-meter net this morning, so I'll have to catch you next week. And to answer that question, well, I guess I've ridden in a horse and carriage, never in a horse and buggy, so you can take that for what it's worth. Thank you, Bill. N1WEB.
All right, Webb, thanks for checking in, and Roger got the notification that you won't be able to make it. Have a great day. Let's move on to KM4CTB, Donnie, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Good morning, Donnie.
Well, good morning, Bill, Vicki, and Roger, and everybody on the net. KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Well, many, many years ago, when we first moved to Florida, I remember taking a horse-drawn carriage tour of St. Augustine. I think that's the only time I can remember a horse and buggy type of situation. Otherwise, horseback, done some of that. But that's the only time I can remember some kind of a horse and a buggy. Thanks for doing that, Bill. Have a great day. KM4CTB, back to net.
All right, Donnie, you have a great day as well. 7-3. Let's move on to KQ4GWO, William, out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Good morning, William.
Good morning, Net Control. This is Kilo, Quebec 4, Golf Whiskey Oscar, William around beautiful Wake Forest, North Carolina, where we got a temperature of 73 degrees, 1 mile per hour wind, and we're expecting having a high of 87 today. Wow, horse and buggy. Nah, I haven't, never rode in a horse and buggy. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm a country boy too, but nah, I never did that, no doubt. Everybody have a super fine day. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Golf Whiskey Oscar, William around beautiful Wake Forest, North Carolina. 73s, y'all.
All right, William, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to W4PPX, Don in Hollywood, California. Good morning, Don.
Hi, good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. It's Hollywood, Florida, not California thing. Put me down for yes, St. Augustine, a long time ago with my mom and dad back in the 50s.
All right, Don, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to WB1DXN, Daryl out of Concord, New Hampshire. Daryl, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, Vicki and Bill and the rest of the Brew Crew. Yes. One time in Savannah, Georgia, down at the market area place, they have horse and buggy rides there. And one time, wife had a medical appointment in Charleston, South Carolina, and we had a little buggy ride there. So, as I rode in on the buggy text commuter train buggy this morning from the Granite State. Everybody keep safe. WB1DXN.
All right, Daryl, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to KK4OXX, Jonas in Miramar, Florida. Good morning, Jonas.
Good morning, sir, and thanks for taking my check-in. Never taken that ride. However, my voice is a little hoarse right now, and I'm feeling quite buggy. Does that count? KK4OXX.
Well, we can count you as being in a buggy. My voice is kind of hoarse right now, too. I'm trying to get it back. Anyways, have a great day. This is KF0MHN doing the morning brew on the East Coast Reflector. Let's move on to W5SWG Scott in Waco, Texas. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Brew Crew. I jumping in here this morning. Usually I'm just listening as I'm working in my office, but this topic I had to get in here on. I grew up with anywhere between 25 and 30 horses. My dad bred quarter horses, and we always had a couple of them that pulled a cart or a buggy, and actually drove them myself. And had lots of folks over the years that enjoyed those rides. But a really unique experience I had one time around 1993 here in Waco, Texas. We had a paddle boat on the river, on the Brazos River. It had a restaurant in it, had dinner in it one night, and then immediately after had a horse and buggy ride that me and the date just rode in throughout downtown Waco. So, many buggy rides. Back to you. This is W5SWG, Scott in Waco, Texas.
All right, Scott. I don't remember when I did my horse and buggy ride. I was very young at the time, so thank you for checking in. Let's move on to KI5PMI, Bill out of Hobbs, New Mexico. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. Hope everybody's doing good on the ECR. I have ridden in a horse and wagon, but I've never ridden in a buggy. I'm assuming you're talking about the little small buggies. I have not ridden in one of those. Hope everybody has a great day. KI5PMI, back to net.
All right, Bill. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to KD3AJN, Anna out of Beaver, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Bill, and everyone else on the net this morning. Yes, I have ridden in a horse and buggy. It was a lot of fun. And I've also ridden in a horse, a wagon pulling a horse, which is very, not a wagon pulling a horse pulling a wagon. I'm confused this morning. Just leave me alone. Everyone have a great day. KD3AJN.
Well, that's all right, Anna. If you want to have a wagon pulling a horse, we'll let you have a wagon pulling a horse this morning. Anyways, thanks for checking in, Anna. Have a great day. Let's move on to N3DQD, also from Beaver, Pennsylvania. Ray, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bill. Anna, I'm laughing too. Yeah, we did ride on a wagon. Covered wagon at the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, but I've never been in a horse and buggy. Back to that. This is N3DQD.
All right, Ray. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to N8HLN, Mike out of Grosport, Michigan. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Bill, Vicky, and the crew. Coming to you again this morning from Oscoda, Michigan, where I just witnessed another terrific sunrise over the shores of Lake Huron, and it's going to be another beautiful day. As to the question, nope, never had the opportunity. Would be pretty cool someday, maybe. Everyone have a good one. 73 back to net at HLN.
All right, Mike, have a great day. Thanks for checking in, and we'll talk to you down the line. All right, now time for more check-ins. Remember, please say your call sign twice and slowly. If you want to text in your call sign at 716-317-9050, we can get you on the East Coast Reflector as well. Remember to say your call signs twice and slowly.
Echo 7, Mike Romeo, Alpha Echo 7, Mike Romeo, Terry, Junction City, AE7MR.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November. Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November. Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Kilo 7, Victor Whiskey Papa, mobile. Kilo 7, Victor Whiskey Papa, mobile.
Alpha Delta 1 Delta Alpha, Alpha Delta 1 Delta Alpha, mobile.
Kilo 5, Mike Papa Hotel, K5 MPH mobile, in and out, in and out.
KE9DFF, Kilo Echo 9 Delta Fox Fox. I'll be in and out this morning. Whiskey 2, Mike Sierra, W2 MMS. I'll be in and out as well.
N2BH, N2BH. Whiskey 5 Delta Bravo Sierra, Whiskey 5 Delta Bravo Sierra.
KR4HBQ, Kilo Romeo 4, Hotel Bravo, Quebec.
N3MPE.
All right, we got a good list started there. We'll work our way from the bottom up. We had N3MPE Sam, KR4HBQ Neil, W5DBS David, N2BH Bill. We also had W2MMS, that was in and out Charles from Monroe, North Carolina, KE9DFF Evan. We had K5MPH and in and out Michael from Brownsville, Texas. We had AD1DA Doug from Hutto, Texas. We had K7VWP Mike from South Ogden, Utah. We had VE3TGN Tim from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. AE7MR was at the top of our list, but let's go down to the mobile station. K7VWP Mike out of South Ogden, Utah. Good morning. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning, everyone. K7VWP. I have ridden in a wagon, but I have never ridden in a buggy, so I'm going to say no to that one. K7VWP, back to net.
All right, on AE7MR, Terry out of Harrisburg, Oregon. Good morning.
Morning, all. Alpha Echo 7 Mike Romeo, Terry. I'm actually in Junction City now, in a senior living center. I've rode horses most of my life, but never in a buggy, and I actually went on a job search over in the Sisters area. And the guy put me on a horse and asked me why I hadn't cinched it down. I said, I've already cinched that horse is saddled down 3 times. And so he put me in a barn and told me to walk the horse, run the horse, then gallop the horse, and then put the thing into the middle of the ring by backing it up. And then when all was said and done, he said he couldn't hire me for the backpacking guide, because I hadn't been on a horse in 25 years. But yet I was the best horseman that had been there for 3 days, and never a buggy as far as I ever recall. Anyway, back to the group from Alpha Echo 7 Mike Romeo. I'll be listening out. AE7MR.
All right, Terry, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to VE3TGN Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Nick and Vicky and everybody in the group. Never
went horseback riding when I was younger there at Flying Dutch. I'm in there in LaSalle there, and that was a lot of fun. So there you go. That's my answer. V3TGN clear and back to net control. Have a good day. 7312.
All right, Tim, you have a great day as well. Thank you for checking in. Let's move on to 81DA, Doug, Hutto, Texas. Good morning, Doug. DA, Doug out of Hutto, Texas. You still with us?
Hello, the Brew, the morning Brew. Sorry about that. This is 81DA, Doug from Hutto, Texas. The answer for the question is yes. Back to back, 81DA.
All right, Doug. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to KE9D FF. Evan, Milton. Good morning, Evan. KE9DFF. You still with us?
KE9DFF. I was in and out, but I have been on a buggy ride. KE9DFF.
All right, Evan. Thanks for checking back in. Have a great day. Let's move on to N2BH Bill out of Palmyra, New York, one of our net facilitators. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill, Vicky, Roger, everybody. Oh yes, been on a lot of them. When I was a kid, our neighbors had horses and they had a buggy. We'd hook it up and ride around the orchards and stuff. And today I'm riding the motorcycle to breakfast and ride afterwards. N2BH.
All right, Bill. Have a great day and have a great ride. Good talking to you. All right, let's move on to W5DBS, David out of Houston, Texas. Good morning, David.
Great big Texas howdy to everybody on the Brew crew this morning. I've been on many a bug ride. We used to do a lot of that years ago when we had the horses. We've given up the horses now, but really enjoyed those times. Back to the net.
All right, David. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to KR4HBQ, Neil out of Durham, North Carolina. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning from Bull Durham. Buggy, no, but I used to work at Lake Mohawk Mountain House, and occasionally I'd be out on the trails or something, and the self-described chief equine manure disposal officer would be coming by with one of the carts, and he'd offer me a ride, but not a buggy, nope. KR4HBQ, clear, back to net.
All right, Neil. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to N3MPE, Sam, Pflugerville, Texas. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride, Sam?
Good day, everybody. Yep, well, coming from the Mennonite Amish background, yes, I've had that experience many times. And anyway, that's it for this old guy. N3MPE, Pflugerville, Texas. Back to net control. Good day.
All right, Sam. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to NW4Q, Jim out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, sir. The answer is yes. Good memories.
All right, Jim. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to K4KU, Jason out of Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning, everybody on the Brew today. Yes, I have been on a buggy ride a few times. I grew up with horses on my grandparents' farm. Don't have any more now, but it's a good memory to bring back. So thanks for the question. I hope everyone has a great day today. This is K4KU back to net.
All right, Jason. Thanks for checking in, and have a great day. Let's move on to K4ITA Leo out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everybody from the beautiful Fort Lauderdale. 87 degrees already. Sun and clouds today and beautiful ocean. And the answer is no for me today. Everybody a great day. K4ITA.
All right, Leo. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to WW0N. Kenny out of Germantown, Maryland. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill and Vicky and everybody else. No, I haven't had a horse and buggy ride. That sounds like a pretty fun thing to do in the winter time. But nope, not me. This is WW0N. Have a great day.
You have a great day as well, Kenny. Thanks for checking in. Let's move on to AB4KT, our last on our list on the check line. Kenneth, the Villages, Florida. Good morning. Kenneth, AB4KT, you still with us? All right, we'll mark Kenneth as an in and out. All right, we're at the end of our list. Let's start a new list. Remember, you can text us at 716-317-9050 or check in with your call sign twice and slowly. Please try to avoid the pile-ups this morning.
November Whiskey 3 United NW3U.
And November 3 Mike Delta Charlie. That's November 3 Mike Delta Charlie for Pedestrian Mobile.
KK4VTT 004 Victor Tango Tango.
KE8ZXW Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Echo Whiskey.
November Yankee Foxtrot, Eric in Conroe, Texas, and out today.
All right, we have our list started, and we'll work from bottom to top. And let's have a call sign of KI5NYF. Eric was in and out. We have KE8ZXW, Richard. We have KC2JPQ, Frank. We have KK4TT, Bruce. We also have N3MDC, Michael. We have N1CBM, Carlos. And we have MW3U, David. And Ed David is at the top of our list. And what say you, David?
I got a weather statement here on my note. NW3 here. Good morning, everybody. We're doing good here this morning, and I apologize, but I missed the question today. Could you give that to me real quick?
Yeah, the question today is, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
No, I have not. Not that I can remember. I have not. I appreciate it for the question. All that for a negative answer. Thanks a lot for doing that today. We'll share with you guys in the morning. 73 NW3U.
No problem, David. Thanks for checking in, and have a great day. Let's move on to N1CBM, Carlos in Hollywood. Carlos.
Good morning to the ECR people. It's 80 degrees down here in Hollywood with clear skies. It seems to be that this afternoon is going to be gray and gloomy and stormy just like yesterday. Yes, I grew up around horses, so I've been on a horse and a buggy for a few times. That's for me, so it's yes, and 1 CBM. Back to you.
All right, Carlos, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to N3 MDC Michael out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Michael, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Why, yes, I have. It's been years ago. Had one when my dad had a meeting down in New Orleans. The New Orleans Hilton Inn and Riverside Hilton Inn on the Mississippi River had some horse and buggies outside the hotel, and me and my mom and my dad took one. That was back in the 80s, and back in the 90s, me and my mom rode on one with a friend of hers from work. So back in the 80s and 90s, that's back when I was a kid. Back to net control, N3 MDC.
All right, Michael, thanks for checking in and have a great day. All right, KK4VTT, Bruce out of Kissimmee, Florida. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning to one, good morning to all. Have a great day out there. The answer to the question is no, but yes, I have rode on a few horses. Hey, you guys out there have a good one. Thank you guys behind the scenes for making all of this happen. Kilo 4, Victor Tango Tango. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to Frank, KC2JPQ, via text line out of Lancaster, New York. Frank, have you ever had a buggy ride?
Good morning, Bill and Vicky and everybody on the Brew. The answer to the question is no. I've never been on a buggy ride, a horse-drawn buggy ride. And I'm just going to say 7-3s today. Everybody have a great day. I'll send it back to the net, KC2JPQ.
All right, Frank, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to KE8ZXW, Richard, out of Grosse Isle, I believe, Michigan. Go ahead, Richard. Welcome to the East Coast Reflector.
Good morning, all. And yes, you got that right. That's actually Grosse Isle, Michigan. And the answer to the question is yes, I have.
The time is 9:30 a.m.
Early on that had horses and a buggy, so yes, I have.
Well, welcome to the East Coast Reflector, Richard. And if you have an updated email at QRZ.com, Vicki will send you out a welcome letter. So welcome and have a great day. Next, we have AC3QB, Joe out of Middleton, Delaware. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to everyone on the Brew Crew. The answer to the question is yes. I've been on a couple buggy rides, Cape May, New Jersey, and Williamsburg, Virginia, and they're pretty cool. Back to the net, and everybody have a good day. AC3QB.
All right, Joe, thanks for checking in, and have a great day. Let's move on to KD2IWN, Tim, Hamburg, New York. Good morning, Tim.
Morning, Bill and Vicky and everybody on the Brew Crew this morning. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've been on a sleigh ride with a horse, I've been on a buggy ride, and rode bareback, or saddled up as well. So that's what happens when you grow up in the country. 73, everybody enjoy your day. KD2IWN.
Hello, this is VKY, and we're going to take some more check-ins. Twice and slowly, please.
N5GI, N5GI.
Whiskey Bravo 5, India Tango Tango, WB5ITT.
November 5, Mike Lima Whiskey. November 5, Mike Lima Whiskey, mobile.
KA4JAZ, in and out. KA4JAZ, in and out.
Kilo 7, Whiskey Alpha Quebec, KK7 WAQ, and I'll also be in and out.
All right, we had in there KK7 WAQ Douglas, in and out. We had K4JZ Alton, also in and out. We had Mel and N5MLW, Chris WB5ITT, and Rick N5GI. Was there anybody else?
Kilo Delta 2 Echo X-ray Quebec, KD2 EXQ, in and out.
All right, thank you, Mike. We had KD2 EXQ, in and out. We'll go up to Rick from the Villages N5GI. Have you ever ridden a horse and buggy?
Well, good morning, Vicki, and everyone on the Brew Crew. I don't know who's logging if Vicki's on the radio, but I'm sure somebody is. Anyway, beautiful day here in the Villages. I have ridden a horse, but never ridden in a buggy. Back to net control, N5GI in the Villages.
All right, Rick, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to WB5ITT, Chris, Beaumont, Texas. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, sir. I guess I missed the question. Could you give it to me, please?
Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride, Chris?
Oh, many years ago. One in New Orleans, I think, while we were visiting family there. But I was just a wee youngster way back when. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. WB5ITT.
All right, Chris, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Good to hear from you out there. Let's go to N5 MLW, Mel in Abernathy, Texas, via mobile. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning, everyone in earshot. Yes, I have ridden a buggy and horse 37 years ago this evening on my second evening of my honeymoon. This is N5 MLW clear.
All right, Mel, thanks for checking in and have a great day. All right, this is KF0MHN, Bill from East Bethel, Minnesota. Coming up next is the 20-meter net with Roger and Randy on 14.317. Be sure to check in. It'll be lots of fun. All right, also the question of the day is, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? Let's take more check-ins. Remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
KJ5 LJJ. KJ5 LJJ. KJ5 LJJ.
KF8GAH. Kilo Foxtrot 8. Golf Alpha Hotel.
say your call sign twice and slowly.
EM.
Bravo 8 Kilo Lima Kilo Kilo Bravo 8 Kilo Lima Kilo.
All right, we'll start from the bottom of the list. We had KV8 KLK Jonathan check in from Toledo, Ohio. We had W2EM Chuck from Lancaster, New York. KF8GA8 Tim from Lima, Ohio. We had KJ5LJJ Greg from Purvis, Mississippi, and we had Scott N7FGP from Jamestown, New York. Good morning, Scott. Have you ever ridden in a horse and buggy?
Good morning, Bill, Vicky, and everybody out there today. No, I have not actually. So, anyhow, something to do in the future, I guess. Back to you.
All right, Scott, thanks for checking in. Scott's one of our net facilitators. He also does the night shift, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays on East Coast Reflector. Be sure to check in. It's very interesting and very insightful as well. Let's move on to KJ5LJJ, Greg, Purvis, Mississippi. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning, Brew Crew. The answer to the question is no, I haven't. Back to you, net control.
All right, Greg, thanks for checking in. We got you down as a no on the log. Let's move on to K58GAH, Tim out of Lima, Ohio. Good morning.
KF8GAH. Hey, no, I have not. I have, not that I can recall, ever been on a horse and buggy. I've ridden horses before, but never a horse and buggy. You guys on your logs don't have me listed with my email address and stuff. I am on QRZ now, so if you guys wanted to update that, doesn't really matter. I just looked at your logs. I think it was ecr.radio@logs. But, yeah, hey, back to net. Thank you.
All right, Chuck, Tim, thanks for the information. We'll try to get that updated for you. And have a great day. Let's move on to W2EM, Chuck, out of Lancaster, New York. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. I believe it's Bill and Vicky and the rest of the Brew Crew. You can put me down for a yes. Somewhere back, it's been a while, it's been a long time, but my wife and I have been on a buggy and horse. Back to net control, W2EM.
All right, Chuck, have a great day. Thanks for checking in. Let's move on to KB8 KLK, Jonathan, Toledo, Ohio. Good morning, Jonathan.
Everyone on the Brew Crew. Yes, I have had a horse drawn carriage ride or buggy ride, and also a horse drawn hay ride. And when I was much younger, I had harness racing horses, so I've been in a training cart and a sulky behind a horse, so I had all those experiences as well as horseback riding, so lots of fun there. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, Jonathan, you have a great day as well. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. We can start a new list. Remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
AB1EX. 4 Kilo November Sierra, mobile.
November 2 Papa X-ray N2PX mobile.
Kilo Romeo 4 Charlie Golf. Kilo Romeo 4 Charlie Golf.
Mark out of Orlando, Florida. And we had AB1EX George out of Madison, Alabama. Let's move on to our two mobiles, W4KNS, Mark out of Orlando, Florida. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Ned. Good morning, everybody. No, I have not been in a horse and buggy. I've been in a horse and a trailer, kind of like a hayride thing, but not a horse and buggy. W4KNS, back to you, Ned.
All right, Mark, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on to N2PX, Greg out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Greg, welcome to the East Coast Reflector.
Thank you. Good morning, Net Control, everybody on the net. Yes, I have actually done a little horseback riding, but then horse and buggy in Midtown Manhattan, around the Central Park South area, and that was a lot of fun. So you can put me down for a yes. It was a good time. Back to Net Control. Yes.
Email address is updated in QRZ. We'll send you out a welcome letter. Have a great day. Let's move on to AB1EX George out of Madison, Alabama. Good morning, George.
Good morning to the net. Yes, I have. I've done the tourist trap thing in Manhattan as well. Back to net, AB1EX.
All right, George. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to KR4CCG Jim out of Longwood, Florida. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
I have ridden horses, and I don't know if this is going to count. It was many years ago, but I have ridden a pony and a cart. In other words, kind of like a bench seat that pulls behind it, and that's about as close as I think I've gotten. Kilo Romeo 4, Charlie Golf, back to Net Control.
All right, Jim, that counts. Anyways, have a great day, 7-3, and thanks for checking in. All right, time for more check-ins. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly. If we have any mobiles or in and outs, please check in now.
November 4, Kilo Hotel Zulu, and 4 kilohertz. I'll be in and out.
All right, we'll take any and all check-ins at this time. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
Victor Echo 3 Juliet November uniform. Victor Echo 3 Juliet November uniform, in and out.
Kilo Charlie 5 Charlie Romeo Foxtrot India. Dale in Hamilton. Victor Alpha 3 Romeo Foxtrot India.
Charlie 0 Echo
Kilo
Queen Alpha. Doug in Hastings. Kilo Charlie 0 Echo Queen Alpha.
Kilo Charlie 5 Charlie Papa Oscar. KC5 CPO.
Delta 4, Oscar X-Ray Tango. Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar X-Ray Tango. Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Whiskey. Kilo 5, Victor, in and out, please. Good morning.
We had a Kilo Juliet 5 station check-in, but we could barely hear you. If you want to try checking in again.
Kilo Juliet 5
Tomball, Texas, we got you in as in and out, and have a great day. Let's go to the bottom of the list. WD4OXT, Rilb, checked in. KC5CPO, Doug, checked in. KC0EQA, Doug, out of Hastings, Nebraska, checked in. BA3FI, Dale. KA5PUD. We also had Randall, was it in and out, and he was BE3JPU. And we had John, in and out, N4K8Z. All right, let's get down to the rest of our check-ins here. We had KA5PUD, Paul, Montgomery, Texas. Paul, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? All right, Paul, we got a yes out of that. Just to be advised, you have a lot of static and a lot of white noise coming in the background, so it sounds like you're far away from the repeater. Anyways, have a great day. Let's move on to VA3RFI, Dale, out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning, and good morning to all on net. I have been on a horse and buggy ride as a small child at the Christmas parade. That's it for me. VA3 RFI, back to net control.
All right, Dale. Welcome to the East Coast Reflector, and thank you for checking in. If your email address was updated in QRZ, we will send you a welcome letter. Anyways, have a great day. Let's move on to KC0EQA, Doug, out of Hastings, Nebraska. Good morning, Doug. Doug, KC0EQA, you still with us? All right, maybe Doug will check in a little bit later with us. Let's move on to KC5CPO, Dave, out of Burleson, Texas. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Brew Crew. The answer is yes, several times, usually for anniversaries around Christmas time. Really romantic. So, y'all have a great day. 7-3, KC5CPO.
All right, Dave, you have a great day as well. Thanks for checking in. Let's move on to WD4OXT, Rilled, out of Winter Springs, Florida. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. This is WD4OXT in Winter Springs. Currently temperature 83 degrees here. Put me in the no column. Have not. Have a great day, everybody. WD4OXT back to net control.
All right, Real. Thanks for checking in, and have a great day. All right, it's 59 degrees here in East Bethel, Minnesota. My name is Bill, KF0MHN, and let's take some more check-ins. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
Nina Yankee 4 Delta Zulu Portugal Whiskey 3. Nina Yankee 4 Delta Zulu Portugal Whiskey 3. Checking in, checking out.
KJ5 November Echo Tango. KJ5 November Echo Tango.
Victor Echo 3 Juliet November uniform. Victor Echo 3 Juliet November uniform, in and out.
Kilo Niner Tango Juliet Sierra K9 PJS, in and out.
Kilo Alpha 2, Echo, Echo Uniform. Kilo Alpha 2, Echo, Echo Uniform. In and out.
Kilo Charlie 2, Zulu Uniform Mike. Kilo Charlie 2, Zulu Uniform Mike. In and out.
Kilo Juliet 5, Romeo Charlie Bravo. Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Romeo Bravo. In and out.
All right, we had a lot of in and out stations there. Last station that came in was KJ5 RCB. Jason was in and out. KC2ZUM, Alan in and out. KA2EEU, Scott checked in. K9TJS was Thomas, so he was in and out. VE3JNU was in and out. KJ5NET from Conrail, Texas. And we had N9Y4DZ Stevenson from Tobago check in, and he was in and out. All right, let's move on down to KJ5NET. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Ridden horses many times, but never horse and buggy. Brother had the setup, but never rode it with him.
All right, my friend, have a great day, and thank you for checking in. We had a VE3JNU station check in and out, so if you're still out there, can you check in if their call sign or call letters were like that?
Yes, that is correct. Victor Echo 3 Juliet November uniform. I believe earlier you had caught it as Juliet Papa uniform, and then I didn't understand that in and out meant don't call on me. I just thought like that was a play way of being in and out. Anyway, I'm from Cambridge, Ontario, and the name's Dan.
All right, Dan. Hey, have you ever ridden in a horse and buggy?
I have not ridden on a horse or in a horse and buggy. The closest I got was timing horse races.
All right, Dan. Well, have a great day, and thanks for checking in, and we'll talk to you somewhere down the line. Let's move on to KA2EEU. Scott in Spring, Texas. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning, KA2EEU. I was in and out, but since you got me, yes, I've ridden in horse and carriage or horse and buggy several times in my life, most of the time with my wife. Back to you, KA2EEU.
All right, thanks for checking in, and have a great day. All right, we've got about 5.5 minutes to go. Let's do some more check-ins. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Quebec Lima. Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Quebec Lima.
KB5DAO.
All right, let's go down to the bottom here, KB5DAO, and then KQ4OQL, Dalton. He's new from Auburn, Kentucky. Welcome to the East Coast Reflector. Have you ever had a horse and buggy ride?
Good morning to the group, KQ4OQL. Yes, I have, and yep, it's definitely the first time we've checked into this net. But yeah, we're mobile here in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Yes, QTH is Auburn, so between Russellville and Bowling Green, here in the southern region of the state. So Other than that, that's all I've got going on. So appreciate you calling the net, 70 through the group, and everyone have a good rest of the week and weekend. Back to net control from Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Quebec Lima.
All right, Dalton, have a great day. Thanks for checking in, and welcome to the East Coast Reflector. If you have an updated email on qrz.com, we'll send you out a welcome letter. Have a great day. Let's move on to, I believe, KB5DAO. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I have, when I was younger, and in Pennsylvania, I did take a buggy ride in Amish town down there in Lancaster.
All right, we got you down for a yes on the log. Have a great day, and thank you for checking in. All right, it's about 3.5 to 4 minutes to go. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
N1QWX, November 1, Queen Whiskey X-Ray, in and out.
November 4, X-Ray, Victor, N4, XV, in and out.
All right, any Echolink or digital stations out there, mobile stations, please check in now. You can check in and out.
DSK.
X-Ray N7XAX, Gabe, Oregon, mobile. In and out.
Never mind, we got it fixed here. All right, KL7AX, Ralph checked in. N4XV, Jonathan checked in and out. N1QWX was Arthur, in and out. And Ralph down at the bottom was also in and out. All right, we've got 2 minutes to go. We can still do some in and outs, or if anybody wants to chat for a minute and answer the question of the day, have you ever had a horse and buggy ride? Please do so now.
K2AP, Kilo Echo 2, India Tango Golf. That's Kilo Echo 2, Tango India Golf. K2AP, in and out. K2AP, in and out.
November 5, Golf Whiskey. November 5, Golf Whiskey, in and out. Good morning.
November 7, X-Ray, America X-Ray, Norway 7, X-Ray, Alpha X-Ray, Gabe, Oregon, in and out.
All right, we had N7AX, Michael check in. We had N5GGW, in and out, Gregory. We have N2FYA, John. We have KE2TIG. That's possibly what the call sign letters are. Can you please check in again? We had Joe, K2AP, who was in and out. Let's move down the list to KE2TIG. If that's the correct call sign, please check in now.
Roger, net control. This is New Ham. First time on any kind of test. Answer your question, yes. I've been at plenty of horses and buggies. I own 3.
welcome to the East Coast Reflector. Let's move on to N2FYA. John, our last one in Mystic, Connecticut. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone on the Brew crew, and the short answer is no, I never have. I've wanted to, but never have ridden on a horse and buggy. Everyone have a great week ahead, and a good weekend. Take care. This is N2FYA.
All right, John, thanks for checking in, and have a great day. All right, that's the end of our net, the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. As KF0MHN on behalf of Vicky VE8EKY doing the log back in the Zoom room. I'd like to say to everybody, have a good morning, have a good day, and we will talk to you again later. This is the Morning Brew, and we return the East Coast Reflector to normal ham radio operation. Have a good day, everybody.
Correction on the call sign. This is Norway 7 X-ray, America X-ray, November 7 X-ray, Alpha X-ray.